Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH The Flame Emperor Part 24 based on novel. So let's start. Looking at Xiao Yan in the sky who fell into the lower wind in a short period of time, everyone in the Yu family felt nervous. Don't worry, it shouldn't be a problem. That kid still has a lot of trump cards to play. Clenching his fists tightly, Yu smiled comfortingly at her daughter Yu. Hearing this, the third elder and others on the side also nodded slightly. Although they were not very clear about Xiao Yang's methods, since this Xiao Yang can obtain the great fortune in the previous ruins, then there must be some extraordinary people. Place. Yu on the side heard what they said, but shook her head. She knew Xiao Yang, so she knew exactly what means he had. Just looking at the previous battle, it was obvious that Xiao Yang was at a disadvantage. If it lasts for a while, I am afraid it will be difficult to guarantee that there will be no injuries. This guy seems to be guarding against something. With a doubt in her heart, a wry smile appeared on Yueru's cheeks. When inside the ruins, Xiao Yang's attack was much more powerful than it is now, and the milky white flame and the heavy ruler were even more terrifying. Now Xiao Yang seems to be deliberately suppressing his own strength. After a brief conversation, the people in the Yu family quickly turned their attention to the battle circle in the sky again. Xiao Yang's whole body was covered with milky white flames, the flames vibrated slightly, and his body was suspended in the sky. But in the pitch-black eyes, there was a sharp flash of light. After the fight just now, Xiao Yang also found that the strength of the Mu family's three elders seems to be floating. Xiao Yang's eyes narrowed slightly. If this is the case, then he should just defeat the three elders of the Mu family, and then see if the so-called Soul Clan will show up. After all, Xiao Yang is not only the peak of the three-star Do Emperor, but also the golden demon puppet in his hand has also been tempered, which is comparable to the powerhouses of the late four-star Do Di. After Xiao Yang's figure stopped, the Mu family's third elder did not give him much time to breathe, and the scarred elder broke away from his figure again, and shot out suddenly. The low sound of tiger roar came from his mouth, and the rich blood-colored light became more and more intense. The Scar Elder held the palm of his hand and the blood-colored light surged. Immediately, it solidified into extremely sharp energy tiger claws, and the tiger claws cut through the void. It left a few light-colored traces directly in the empty space. "Kid, die!" The Scarred Elder roared, and his body suddenly burst out. He appeared in front of Xiao Yang in an instant. The sharp tiger claws looked very strange under the rendering of blood-colored energy. When his arm shook, the tiger claws were quite vicious. Grab it towards Xiao Yang's throat, looking at the momentum. If he is caught rightly, even if Xiao Yang has a body of strange fire, he will definitely be killed on the spot. His pupils narrowed and he looked at the rapidly expanding tiger claws. The silver light on Xiao Yang's feet suddenly flashed strangely, and his body trembled slightly. Laugh! The tiger claws grabbed with the incomparable strong wind, and immediately caught Xiao Yang's throat under the countless horrified eyes above the Yu family courtyard. It didn't appear, instead, it just went out straight like this. Seeing this, the horrified gazes in the Yu family let out a heavy sigh of relief. After image. The tiger claws penetrated the image, and the Scar Elder screamed, and then sneered. He didn't turn around, but the soles of his feet suddenly slammed into the space behind him. Bang! The soles of the feet were thrown in a certain space with a strong force, and then a black shadow suddenly flashed out, and was immediately kicked out by the force. Turning his head slightly, the Elder Scar stared at Xiao Yang who shot backwards with bloodthirsty eyes, but he was stunned. On that young face, he clearly saw a sneer. After being stunned for a while, Elder Scar's eyes moved abruptly, but he realized that the position where Xiao Yang shot back was actually the elder in gray who maintained the formation. And in this flash of light and flint, Xiao Yang had already used the kick of the scarred elder to instantly appear in front of the gray-robed elder behind him. He clenched his fist to reveal 2 fingers, and the veins on his arm were like blue veins. It swelled up like a worm, and then hit it hard. Huangquan refers to. A low shout sounded. Xiao Yang's fist struck the heart of the gray-robed elder like lightning, but at the moment of the hit, Xiao Yang's complexion suddenly changed, because he found that an invisible force seemed to knock him down. The attack was isolated, otherwise his attack would be fatal. Bang! The terrifying fingerprints carried majestic energy, and slammed heavily on the chest of the gray-robed elder, and the latter's chest was also sunk in a terrifying arc. The gray-robed elder looked at Xiao Yang, whose complexion had changed slightly, but gave a sinister smile, and immediately slapped his belly with a slap. Suddenly, a terrifying force emerged from the depression in his chest, like a flood. The overwhelming storm came out. Boom! Terrifying power rushed frantically from Xiao Yang's arm, which directly shattered all his sleeves, and his body flew out like lightning once again. Xiao Yang forcibly stabilized his body, and his eyes were full of solemnity. There seemed to be some mysterious connection between the 3 elders of the Mu family, which was beyond his expectations. Boy, I can't see that you still have some strength. Elder scars stood in the air, and the 3 of them surrounded Xiao Yang again, sneering. He could naturally feel that Xiao Yang had obviously borrowed it from him on purpose. The strength is close to the other 2 people. Judging from this situation, it should be trying to defeat the other 2 people by bypassing himself. After all, although they are 3 brothers, in reality, they are the peak of the 4-star Dodi in the early stage, and the other 2 are a little weaker than him tilde, but these 3 are not ordinary weak hands, even if they are. Xiao Yang used 3,000 thunders, but he still couldn't escape their senses. It was very difficult to be surprised. Mr. Mu, what are you doing? A kid who is at the peak of the 3-star Dodi has to spend so much time. Just as Xiao Yang's thoughts turned, there was a sudden sound of Murray's roar in the distance. Looking at it, I can see that this guy is very violent. A kid at the peak of the 3-star fighting emperor not only dispatched most of their Mu family's strength, but also was entangled by this kid for so long, and it was inevitable that he was a little unhappy. How dare you? This kid is not an ordinary 3-star Dodi peak powerhouse, and his ability to resist fights is simply super strong. Elder Scar frowned and pouted in his heart, but his face was gradually cold, with scarlet eyes. Staring closely at Xiao Yang, he said to the 2 companions in a gloomy voice, "Quickly solve it." "Yeah." The other 2 Mu family elders nodded. The intense fighting intent in their eyes became more intense, and the blood-red energy shrouded in their bodies became much stronger. It seems that they are going to be serious. Xiao Yang also muttered to himself. Feeling the momentum of the 3 of them, Xiao Yang also let out a long sigh, and then he slowly closed his eyes, and as his eyes closed, his whole body suddenly burst into an extremely dazzling fiery red strong light. This ray of light spreads up quickly, and in one breath, it wraps the body as much as possible. The rays of light spread upward, and Xiao Yang's eyes suddenly opened, but the pair of dark eyes suddenly turned into silver eyes at this moment, which looked extremely strange. Boom, boom, boom. Above the sky, the 3 elders of the Mu family instantly turned towards Xiao Yang, and then the 3 of them formed a triangle to surround Xiao Yang. "I don't know what to do, then don't blame us." A faint voice of anger roared out of the elder Scar's mouth. The 3 surrounded Xiao Yang, and then the grey rays of light on the 3 of them became more and more intense. After a moment, the strong rays of light had the momentum to faintly overwhelm the rays of the sun on the horizon. It's coming for real. It is said that the 3rd elder of the Mu family has an extremely rare sealing technique in his hands. I don't know if it is true or not. Seeing the power of the third elder of the Mu family, Yu was a little worried and said in a low voice, "Xiao Yang, you can't be okay." Yu also closed her eyes and prayed silently for Xiao Yang. Looking at the strong grey light on the body of the third elder of the Mu family in the sky, all the Yu family members, who were watching below, suddenly felt a little panic, because the triangle formed by the grey light of the third elder of the Mu family above the sky exuded a stream of light. Strong force. The abnormality of the grey energy on the body of the third elder of the Mu family was also noticed by Xiao Yang for the first time. Feeling the strange surging energy of the surrounding world, Xiao Yang's cheeks gradually became solemn. He just wanted to use the 3,000 thunderbolts to leave, but found that the 3,000 thunderbolts that he used on weekdays seemed to be imprisoned at this time. Damn it. Seeing this, Xiao Yang also cursed, and then he was directly surrounded by the triangle of the three elders of the Mu family. There seemed to be some kind of energy in the grey light, which restricted Xiao Yang's actions. Within a few feet of Xiao Yang, the gust of wind began to howl. Grey brilliance shrouded the sky above the Yu family compound. After a long brewing, the light suddenly shrank, and in the blink of an eye, the sky was covered in grey. Then the grey sky was compressed into 3 grey light beams only about half a foot. They surrounded Xiao Yang in groups. At the intersection of the 3 grey beams of light, each of the Mu family's 3 elders controls one. It turned out to be a seal. Feeling the strange energy in that grey beam of light, the voice of the Golden Dragon King couldn't help but wonder in Xiao Yang's heart. Seal. Hearing this title, Xiao Yang hurriedly asked. Some bizarre capable people and sages are born to understand some sealing methods. The energy consumed by this kind of sealing is too huge. It is impossible to display it with one person. I can't think that the 3 elders of the Mu family can. Yao Lao's explanation just dropped. The grey triangular beam of light in the sky flashed out like lightning. The speed of the beam of light was extremely terrifying, almost like flickering. In just one jump, the space that Xiao Yang was surrounded by was compressed. Grey mark. Foam. When the grey light flickered, Elder Scar's low roar echoed in the Yu family compound. The moment the grey triangular beam of light appeared, Xiao Yang's cheeks changed slightly. Great fortune palm. As Xiao Yang drank lightly, the space surrounded by the grey triangular light beam fluctuated slightly, and a huge palm print even suppressed by the grey triangular light beam flashed out of thin air, and then entangled with each other, gradually shrinking towards the grey triangular beam of light. The space slammed into it fiercely. Boom. Where the grey triangular beam of light and the great heaven's fortune palm met, the space was slightly distorted, and in an instant, they collided heavily with the terrifying momentum of a meteorite collision. Xiao Yang was also trapped by the grey triangular beam of light. This grey triangular beam of light actually has some sealing power, Xiao Yang also wanted to escape the space locked by the grey triangular beam of light, after he used the great heaven's fortune palm. Little Yanzi, don't worry, you are like this. The Golden Dragon King also said slowly. As soon as the grey triangular beam of light clashed with the great heaven's fortune palm, the great heaven fortune's palm print was clearly at a disadvantage. In just a moment, the palm print burst, and the grey triangular beam of light was only slightly dim. After destroying the palm print of great heaven's creation, the grey triangular beam of light rushed towards Xiao Yang, who was behind him in a destructive manner. Finally, it shot into Xiao Yang's body. Just after the grey triangle light beam succeeded, the body of the 3rd elder of the Mu family flashed and appeared not far from Xiao Yang. They could not clearly understand the power of the grey triangle seal. Just when the grey triangular beam of light shot into Xiao Yang's body, it was about to tear the seal on Xiao Yang's body. The milky white flame on his body suddenly trembled, and a small terrifying light force almost the size of a thumb shot out instantly. The light just appeared, and the space trembled a few times. Crack! The light ran towards Elder Scar's head, but because of the occlusion of the grey triangle seal, the attack was slightly deflected. As a result, the light happened to hit the corner of the clothes above his head. Suddenly, the corner of the clothes on the scarred old man's forehead instantly turned into nothingness. If such a terrifying power fell on him he could feel it, the end would be exactly the same as the corner of his clothes. Bang bang bang. The grey triangular beam of light sank into Xiao Yang's body, and then paused for a few seconds. The milky white flame around Xiao Yang's body was instantly extinguished. Xiao Yang in the sky also closed his eyes, and his fighting spirit quickly weakened, like a living dead. Success. The three elders of the Mu family also saw Xiao Yang's appearance, and couldn't help but be overjoyed. This grey triangle seal contains their vitality, and every time it is used, it takes a lot of vitality, but fortunately it is successful. Take it away. Murray looked at Xiao Yang in mid-air, and a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth, and said to the third elder of the Mu family. Damn it. Yu also secretly said that it was not good, the power of the grey triangle seal, even he felt a dangerous aura, Xiao Yang actually said. Humph. Yueru didn't say much, then her eyes were slightly red, and her slender hand stroked her smooth forehead. Be optimistic about the clan. Leave the rest to me. You have already opened it once before. You can't open it again this time, otherwise there will be sequelae. Xiao Yang above the sky is gone. Yueyu, how dare you? Murray was also shocked by the sudden scene. This Yueyu actually braved the family's big troubles to save Xiao Yang. Humph. Don't worry about it. After Yueyu finished speaking, she burst into a monstrous storm. Xiao Yang, who was above the sky, closed his eyes slightly, and then he could not feel a trace of vindictiveness all over his body, as if he had fallen into a sleeping giant dragon. Old Yueyu, you have to pay for your actions. Murray also said viciously. Yu didn't care how Murray roared, and then went straight to reach out to grab Xiao Yang, when a familiar voice suddenly sounded in her heart. Just when Murray felt that there was no success, Yu, who was just a few steps away from Xiao Yang, actually stagnated for a few seconds, and then returned straight from the sky to the Yu family compound. From the beginning to the end, he never touched Xiao Yang at all. Father. Yueru's beautiful eyes were also slightly wrinkled, obviously she didn't know why. Yu also raised the smallest pinky thumb with her palm towards Yu. How could Yueru not know the meaning of this little thumbs up? When I was young, every time I asked my father for something, my father would always give me a little thumbs up, and every time my father succeeded, so although she was surprised, Yueru was still calm. Down, my father must have his own way of doing this. HMPH, Count you acquainted. Take it away. Murray was also surprised by Yu's sudden move, but also shouted at the third elder of the Mu family beside him. When the three elders of the Mu family heard what they said, they did as they did. After all, they also worked for the Mu family. Murray also looked at Xiao Yang, who was caught in the sky above the sky, and he breathed a sigh of relief after the three elders of the Mu family caught Xiao Yang. If that's the case, then I'll bother you. I'll come to thank you another day. Let's go. Murray also clasped his fists at Yu and said to the people around him. Xiao Yang, who was sealed by the grey triangular beam of light, seemed to be on the verge of dying, and he was allowed to take them away. Watching the departure of the Mu family, the people who gathered in the Yu family to watch the fun also left one after another. Oh, it's interesting, this kid Xiao Yang's soul power is actually used so skillfully. In a luxurious room of the Alchemist Association, a white-haired old man slowly sat down, took a sip of the tea on the table and said, "Find me the latest news of this Wucheng." Yes. After the white-haired old man finished speaking, a figure suddenly responded in the luxurious house. The sky returned to calm, and the Yu family members were also busy one after another. In a dark wooden house, you are you, and the third elder of the Yu family were laughing, and in addition to the three, there was a young man with a heavy foot on his back. Looking closely, isn't this Xiao Yang? Tell me how you escaped at that time. Yueru couldn't contain her surprise. The seal of the Mu family's third elder was so powerful that even she couldn't escape, so she was very surprised by Xiao Yang. How to escape? I heard that if you can enter the Emperor realm, the soul will be indestructible and indestructible. Even if it is forcibly broken up, the remaining soul elements can still be gradually condensed and finally reborn again. Although the great perfection of the realm is not weak, its power is still too weak compared to the Emperor realm. Yu also said slowly. Although Yu is a 5-star Dodi powerhouse, but after all, not every powerhouse has powerful soul power. As long as the soul reaches the Emperor realm, it is no different from the body. Unless the soul is stronger than the latter, or if it fights with people, the soul can be differentiated and fight with the body. That kind of tacit understanding, but no one can match it, the power has also doubled. The third elder of the Yu family smiled, with a bit of envy in the smile. Before reaching the soul of the emperor, the soul is still a little weak. In general, no strong person will take the initiative to summon it. After all, if the soul is injured, the damage to a person will be too great. But definitely no one would be willing to call out. But once the soul enters the Emperor realm, it will be different. At all times, the soul is another form of physical existence, and the power it possesses is not inferior to the body, and its defense is even more staggering. Fighting together with the main body, the power is naturally extremely strong. Yueyu's heavenly realm is perfect, although she still stays at the peak level of the heavenly realm, but she can't step into the soul of the Emperor realm for a long time. So compared with the later period, it is a world of difference. To a certain extent, once the soul power reaches the soul of the emperor, it can be said that there is an extra tacit understanding of the battle partner, and the strength of this battle partner still depends on your own tyranny. It is somewhat similar to your fighting skills that can condense clones, but whether it is formidable or other, etc. The soul clones condensed by your body fighting skills cannot reach the soul level of Emperor realm automatically. Compared with the actual body formed by condensing. Yu is also worthy of being a 5-star Do Emperor powerhouse, and he has a lot of knowledge, so he said. Don't worry, senior, it's not just a soul clone, and it won't cause much loss to me. Xiao Yang also said. That's good, then Xiao Yang, you can rest assured, don't show your face, even if they find out and come back. I will handle the rest for you. Let's go, let Xiao Yang have a good rest. Yu also knew that Xiao Yang was fine, and then prepared to quit to give Xiao Yang a rest. Thank you, senior. Xiao Yang also knew Yu's good intentions, and immediately said gratefully. He. Looking at the three who had left, Xiao Yang also laughed. At that time, when the power of the grey triangular light beam seal of the three elders of the Mu family came, if it wasn't for his master Jinlong King telling him the role of this soul avatar, Xiao Yang would still be kept in the dark, and maybe he would have been killed by the third Mu family. Old succeeded. Although he has already stepped into the mortal soul power of the Emperor realm on the basis of the soul of the Emperor realm, Xiao Yang has no idea about the use of the soul avatar of the Emperor realm. With the soul power of the Emperor realm, but there is nothing he can do, but fortunately, his master, the Golden Dragon King, told himself at a critical time. Wuqing and the Mu family. I even gave you a big gift. Xiao Yang also muttered to himself, while looking into the distance from the wooden house. In the distance, the Mu family's group, the Mu family's third elder, the Scar elder, carried Xiao Yang with one hand and then walked towards Wuqing. Could it be that your sealing power is too strong? this Xiao Yang is actually sealed like this. Mueller also looked at the dying Xiao Yang and said, he has played against Xiao Yang, and he knows best that Xiao Yang has many tricks, and it is not so easy. Will be caught. HMPH, you are too embarrassed to say that the dignified members of my Mu family can't beat such a kid. You have thrown our Mu family's face into it. Murray also said fiercely to his son. Muller also wanted to cry, but Xiao Yang's milky white terrifying flames and endless fighting skills made him unable to do anything, and then he followed the large army like a mute eating a yellow lotus. After confirming that they had left, Xiao Yang also wrapped his own cabin with soul power, and then gently stroked the ring on his finger. He. The Golden Dragon King also suddenly floated out in front of Xiao Yang. Master, what is going on with this Emperor Realm soul? Xiao Yang was also very surprised. I knew you had doubts, but it's not easy for me to show up in the battle just now. After all, some extremely obscure breaths are still hidden in the dark, and if I show up, it will only confuse you. The Golden Dragon King also spoke slowly. Extremely obscure aura. Hearing that, Xiao Yang also frowned slightly. Although he did not know the true strength of his master, the Golden Dragon King, if he could be made into an obscure aura, then it was definitely not something he could fight against now. UAU 5-star duty's strength is also not seen in the Golden Dragon King's eyes. You don't need to worry about the rest, now you're just waiting for you to give the little girl in Qingyuan the Gubanpei pill, and then quietly waiting for the people from Xian Santian to come here to pick them up. Or leave here. Otherwise the Wuching it seems to have other thoughts about you. The Golden Dragon King also said slowly. As for the soul of the Emperor Realm, you can use your soul power to sense and command, and you will naturally condense a clone that is exactly the same as you. The clone's strength and aura are exactly the same as yours. Unless someone else's soul power is stronger than you will be surrounded by other people's 6-star battle. It is impossible to discover the strength of the Emperor. Although you can condense your avatar when you reach the Emperor's realm, this duty continent is an upper plane after all. So it has a certain degree of suppression of Do Qi. So at least you have to reach the Emperor's mortal rank as you are before you can display it. This Emperor's soul clone can sometimes save your life, but both of you are prosperous. If you are injured, your soul clone will not be injured, but if you cast your soul clone, once the soul clone is injured, it will feed back to you. Jinlong Wang also spoke slowly. Hearing this, Xiao Yang was also overjoyed. A clone with exactly the same aura, and even the same strength as himself, is a priceless treasure. Although it is said that the two of them have a prosperous relationship, this soul avatar can have unexpected effects at critical moments. This seems to be his own trump card. Okay, you should take the medicine pill to restore your vindictive energy and soul power. You have just finished refining the medicine pill, and then you have to fight again. Wait for your reply, then go to work on Qingyuan, otherwise it's not good to delay it again and again. The Golden Dragon King also said. Hearing that, Xiao Yang is also aware of the good intentions of his master Jinlong King. After all, the foreign evil clan is very powerful. If he does not work hard, it is not enough to blindly rely on the power of his master Jinlong King. So his own master Jinlong is also the situation, has to be a last resort. Otherwise it is usually a secret observation. With a plan, Xiao Yang took out a purple elixir. The purple elixir is called Fire Lotus Pill. As the name suggests, the Fire Lotus Pill has a strong effect on the fire attribute fighting qi, and even has the mysterious effect of nourishing the soul. After swallowing the medicinal pill, a fiery sensation suddenly erupted from the lower abdomen, and immediately turned into one after another fiery tributaries, surging into the meridians in the body. Because of the temperature of the heat flow, in the end, it turned out that some faint purple energy appeared in the meridians. The temperature of the heat flow gradually became hot as the speed of the burning art in Xiao Yan's body intensified, so that with each lap, the small wounds on Xiao Yan's body slowly healed. The pure medicinal power transformed by the purple fire lotus pills is also extremely effective. With the faint fiery purple gas infiltrating the meridians and finally circling in the body, Xiao Yan can clearly feel that certain parts of the body are in the body. A hidden powerful energy, as if the ice layer was melted by the heat, and finally revealed. It seems that this should be the medicinal power accumulated in the body of the medicinal pills taken before. Those accumulated medicinal power, evaporated by the fiery purple gas, also turned into a light mist of energy, rising slowly, and when they encountered the meridians on the way, they adhered to it, melted quietly and entered, and circulated along the meridians, and finally it was transformed into a stream of pure energy, which was poured into the high-speed rotating Fen Ju in Xiao Yang's body, and after receiving the pure energy, the somewhat bleak Fen Ju was originally due to excessive consumption. Once again, a faint light radiated, illuminating the entire wooden house. However, it was also Shen Hao and Xiao Yang who had wrapped the wooden house with soul power before, so it didn't look any different from the outside. There was some energy mist around Xiao Yang, and the bones and cells in the body were also attached to it. For this extremely pure energy, the bones and cells in the body seemed to become a lot more greedy, and they quickly swallowed up at a speed that was invisible to the naked eye. Relying on the energy mist coming up, and after swallowing this energy, Xiao Yang could clearly feel that the bones, muscles, cells, etc., which were slightly damaged by the soul power spent in refining the medicinal pills and the battle, were rapidly increasing. Is being repaired against peak condition. Feeling the gradually filling Fen Ju, Xiao Yang breathed a sigh of relief in his heart, sinking his mind again, exerting all his strength to control the energy mist that overflowed his body, gather them together, and finally converged into a turbulent energy flow after completing a cycle in the body. It continuously pours into his limbs, and for these continuous infusions of energy, Xiao Yang's limbs are like a bottomless pit. No matter how huge the energy is, it is all comers are welcome. The previous fire lotus pill, perhaps only the 9th rank, played a role like an introduction, activating all the medicinal power accumulated in Xiao Yang's body during the days of Yin and Yang tilde then. With the help of this huge energy, he can quickly repair Xiao Yang's injured body. This way of using strength to heal, I am afraid that even Baisu would not be able to do it so easily. The energy mist within the body continued to rise from all parts of the body. If anyone could look at Xiao Yang's body through his skin at this time, he would be shocked to see the mist covered his body, and even the internal organs in his body are completely covered by the dense energy mist. It was naturally impossible for Xiao Yang to take care of such a huge energy mist. Therefore, some fish that slipped through the net just wandered around in the body. For a time, the bones, muscles, etc. in Xiao Yang's body almost suddenly had his own intelligence, and he frantically used various ways to mist the floating energy. Swallowed up. Although swallowing like this made Xiao Yang clearly feel that his body became stronger and stronger, but bones, muscles and internal organs, which require hard work to increase their capacity, have their own limits. Beyond that limit, I am afraid there will be a terrifying end of disintegration. As long as he thinks of the bones or internal organs in his body, and the consequences of a few cracks suddenly cracking, Xiao Yan shudders. Don't worry, the remaining force is absorbed by the skeletal muscles. Don't underestimate your peak body, as a 3-star Dodi, the Golden Dragon King said, as if he was aware of Xiao Yang's thoughts. After all the energy mist on Xiao Yang's body was absorbed, Xiao Yang's slightly pale purple skin suddenly lightened, and his handsome face finally relaxed. Xiao Yang also opened the wooden house after regaining his strength, but found that it was already morning. I can't believe it took me one night to recover my strength. Xiao Yang also shook his head, then put on a bamboo hat to cover his face, and then walked towards the Yu family lobby. Xiao Yang, Have you recovered? Yueru also came to the lobby early to help her father with some things, and then saw a figure with a hat on his head, and it goes without saying that he knew it was Xiao Yan. Yeah. Xiao Yan also responded. Hey, I said that Xiao Yan is an imperial alchemist, and there are all kinds of recover-type medicinal herbs, so it will take a long time to recover, you still. Hey, hello. Before Yu could finish her words, she was pinched by the slender hand of her Bao daughter. Let's go, I'll take you there. Yueru obviously knew what Xiao Yang meant, then gave her father a vicious look, and left with Xiao Yang. This girl. Yu was also quite helpless about this, and then she immersed herself in sorting out family affairs. Yuguliang, is there any place where water flows near Qingcheng? Xiao Yang also asked. After all, he heard from his master Jinlong King that the medicinal power of this solid foundation Peiyuan pill and some medicinal materials need to be neutralized. The land of water flow, otherwise Qing Yuan's weak body can't absorb it now. Is the water flowing? Yu heard that her beautiful eyes smiled slightly, and suddenly remembered a spring in the Warcraft Mountains when she was a child, and then told Xiao Yang everything. How about I take you there? I'm also a girl, so it's convenient to take care of Qing Yuan. Yueru also said, no need, thank you for your kindness. Xiao Yang hurriedly refused when he heard the words, and it wasn't that Xiao Yang was embarrassed to open his mouth. When he absorbed Guban Peiyuan down, his master Jinlong King made it clear that he should not bring anyone else. Then go back quickly. Don't forget when the mysterious 3 angels arrive in 10 days. Yueru obviously didn't want to be difficult, and then brought Xiao Yang outside Qing Yuan's house. He spoke slowly. Watching Yu leave, Xiao Yang also sighed slowly, and then gently opened the wooden house. You kid is really showing love everywhere. The Golden Dragon King's voice suddenly sounded. Xiao Yang is also helpless about this. After all, he is not a lover, and his relationship with this Yueru is like a friend at most. Hey, let's take one step at a time. After speaking, he did not hesitate, and walked into the wooden house, where Qing Yuan slowly lay on it. A trace of ice silk covered Qing Yuan's body, and then under the ice silk, there seemed to be groups of pure white rays of light surrounding it, as if to protect him. Let's go, hold her and go to the place that Nizzy said first. Where can I absorb Guban Peiyuan down? The Golden Dragon King also said. Hearing this, Xiao Yan also slightly put away the heavy ruler behind his back. In order not to be conspicuous, he hugged Qing Yuan and left the Yu family quietly. As soon as Qing Yuan started, Xiao Yang suddenly felt a stream of pure energy nourishing him, and then he forcibly suppressed his curiosity, and walked towards the secluded spring in the Monster Beast Mountains. In the silent Warcraft Mountains forest, the group of people walked quietly, with vigilant eyes, constantly scanning the dark places in the surrounding trees, their palms tightly holding the weapons around their waists, ready to deal with any unexpected events. Situation. As an old mercenary, who has been in the Warcraft Mountains for many years, every time you go out to hunt beasts, you must maintain a basic tacit understanding. When your eyes are interlaced, you can also identify some signals representing danger and safety from the eyes of the other party. Xiao Yang was relieved to put away the ancient ruler of Yihuaheng. The strange ability to suppress vindictiveness and the overweight weight made Xiao Yang's actions more convenient, although Xiao Yang was also used to the suppression and weight of the ancient ruler of Yihuaheng. Xiao Yang carried Qing Yuan in front of the team of mercenaries, then turned his head and looked at the people behind the guards. His eyes swept across the team at will, and finally stopped there as if being surrounded by stars, usually surrounded by the woman in the white dress in the middle. At this moment, the woman in the white dress just straightened up slightly, wiped the sweat on her forehead lightly with the back of her hand, panting lightly, and with her soft cheeks, She looked quite lovable. Seeing the white-skirted woman showing this appearance, some mercenaries around had the urge to carry her to their destination, but they also knew that even if they wanted to carry it, the white-skirted woman would only refuse with a smile. This woman's soul power seems to be somewhat powerful. Xiao Yang also said slowly. Xiao Yang is already an emperor-level mortal-level soul power, and even Yueru's emperor-level soul does not have this invisible suppression. The woman in the white dress below has it, which inevitably makes Xiao Yang look at it more. When the eyes of the mercenaries below converged on the woman in the white dress, a rather handsome young man walked out of the guards on the side with a smile on his face, bowing his head, and saying something to the panting white dress. There is a person with a very powerful soul who is spying on us. The woman in the white dress also looked around vigilantly. Well, no, we have already searched the periphery of the demonic beast mountain range. The handsome young man arrived. The two talked for a while, and the woman in the white dress smiled and shook her head, and then continued to drive ahead. Slowly withdrawing his gaze, Xiao Yang didn't have much interest in the relationship between the young man and the woman in the white dress, so he shook his head, and once again stepped lightly towards the secluded spring of the demonic beast mountains. Outside the demonic beast mountains, everything was relatively calm. However, not long after Xiao Yang entered the demonic beasts mountains, a small-scale attack of beasts was brutally displayed in front of Xiao Yang. The attackers are three-headed ninth-order monsters, which are comparable to the monsters of the fighting saints. They are called fire snakes and tigers. This type of monster is quite common in the periphery of the monster mountain range. Its attribute is fire, and the fire is pregnant with fire poison. If they are not treated, they will be attacked by fire poison until they die. However, Xiao Yang was also helpless about this, and then released his grudge. These three monsters ran away terrifyingly as if they had seen a natural enemy. It's here, it looks like the secluded spring that Yueru said. Xiao Yang also nodded in satisfaction, as he watched the waterfall flowing down the sky from a distance. Walking into the woods outside the waterfall, the light was dim, but this was the area that Xiao Yang had previously investigated with his soul power, so Xiao Yang did not have to worry about being suddenly attacked by monsters, and his eyes swept around, looking for the most suitable concealment place. Taking Guban Peiyuan pill is not a small movement, after all. This is the elixir of the first-order peak of the Emperor. As Xiao Yang walked from the small forest, he also went deeper and deeper into the small dense forest, and after walking a distance again, the boom 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 sound of waterfall. This video will end here.